Good afternoon, all you folks out there on Facebook and YouTube and people browsing the internet to try and collect some news. And a lot of the news that's happening is being generated by people on the job site or on the site where they're doing a little bit of demonstrations against the carbon tax and stuff like that. And just people out there enjoying the weather and showing it off to other people that may be waiting to have some sharing going on. So, as a retired senior, I'd like to get some feedback going from people and just find out what the people that are in the over age 85 era do for to kill time. Now, if your wife is alive and you probably have somebody to talk to on a regular basis, you probably carry on a normal life. My wife's now been dead for 5 years, and my time is spent walking. I get up in the morning and take a walk downtown, have coffee, and then go down to the mall and have coffee again, and walk around, talk to people, and I make up some zip drives. These are the little computer zip drives which will fit in some of the newer cars now. It's a little electronic device that plugs into your computer, and they sell anywhere from $3 to $5 a piece, and it's a great way to share information. You can share videos, and you can share talks. You can share music, and it's a great way. A lot of the newer cars come with that zip drive feature on them now. They don't even have a CD player. They just have a zip drive, and you just plug these little computer sticks into them, and they play music and all kinds of great stuff. And so I spend a little time making those up, and I give them away to people who are interested in music, because I have a lot of great music that we got from the Steel Guitar Convention in St. Louis a few years ago, so I share those with people. It's a kind of a hobby, and every hobby you do, it doesn't matter whether it's a smoking hobby or what you do, anything you do costs you money, and it's a kind of a thing between the yellow cards and the zip drives. I probably spend $40 to $45 a month on stuff like that to share with people, and it's a it's an icebreaker. I introduce myself to people and share them with a card of all the history we have from the Kootenays, of the nice scenery and old highways information, and also the zip drives. And if people are interested in music, the zip drive is a great way to share files. And if you're a musician, you can share your own music, or you can share music from other people, or you can have music that you went to some special stage shows, like that one in St. Louis we went to with a 5-day convention. Got some beautiful music from that one. And if people are interested in steel guitar or learning guitars and stuff like that, it's sometimes great to give people something to listen to. And we're open for suggestions. If somebody has something that they can share with us, we'd be happy to receive that too, because learning is a two-way exercise. Sitting at home watching TV is there's no communication there at all. You're getting a broadcast of information into your brain watching the news. We never know how much of it's true, and I prefer the face-to-face communication with people. Met some people at the park yesterday. We're trying to raise some money for cancer research, and sat there and talked to them. We spent about a couple of hours there talking to some new people and learning from what they do. And most of the people that are seniors are either volunteering by trying to sell something and give the money to charity, or just visiting, walking and visiting with people and just sharing thoughts on what it's like to be a senior. What do you do to keep time? What do you do to put time in? Now, there are a lot of people that have dogs. I meet tons of people that have small dogs and medium-sized dogs, and they walk them through the park, and you see them sitting there talking to other people, and they're comparing the dogs, and the dogs are playing together. Sometimes you got to be careful, because if they're a bigger dog, they can sometimes bite you. So I usually just put my hand out and let them smell the back of my hand, and if they'll smell the back of your hand, usually they will accept you. But you have to be careful with dogs, because you never know. They're pretty protective of their owner, especially Jack Russell. They're very protective of their owner. If you go near them and start talking to them, sometimes the dog will snap at you. But we learn those kinds of things, and it's no different than walking through the park. If there's any bears, you have to respect these animals and make darn sure that you keep your distance if there's any sign of if they're being where they might damage you or bite you. Don't feed the bears. That's the key. So that and I still play steel guitar. I have a steel guitar set up in my spare room and sit there and play usually an hour to an hour and a half every night. Go through the exercise of tuning the thing and oiling it up and keep it in good shape. Then I go out once in a while and jam with a friend of mine at Salmo. We go and jam a couple of times a month. And spend about 3 or 4 hours per session going through a lot of the old country songs and the dance numbers that we did over the years. And the hard part about it is, after you're like I'm 87 years old, and after you get to a certain age, I think your mind doesn't hold the information quite as quickly as it used to, because it's a matter of growing older. And if we get the dreaded Alzheimer's disease, we can forget all the stuff we did learn in our lifetime. But so far, I think by keeping the mind active now, as a senior, walking is good for you because the exercise keeps your muscles moving and keeps fresh air and traveling in your blood system, and that should keep your brain sharper. So we do lots of walking, talking to people, and playing music is a great thing. It keeps our mind active, and it makes us think about all the songs we did years ago. Think about all the songs we played with other people, and keeps our mind active. So walking and talking and reading and watching YouTube. I really enjoy YouTube. YouTube is a great program. You find it on Google. You just type in YouTube, and YouTube comes up on the site. And then you type in the name of anything you want to know. Let's say that you love Merle Haggard. If you type the name of Merle Haggard in there, not all of them, but a lot of the videos that he ever made in his lifetime display right on the page. So you can select the one you want to see. And if you have, let's say you follow the country stars in Canada, Tommy Hunter, maybe you watched that for years, an old Tommy Hunter show. And there's all kinds of Hank Snow on there. That's another good one. So any entertainers that you've ever watched over your lifetime, just type their name in on the Google search on YouTube, and you'll find some very interesting stuff. Now, if you're interested in snow plowing with steam engines, stuff like that, or you're interested in steam-powered tractors, plowing matches for farmers, repairing the transmission in a 55 Chevy, or repairing an engine in a 1927 Chevy, or whatever your car you got, if you got an old car, all that stuff is on YouTube. So you just type in what you want to see. Be a little careful. If you type in the wrong stuff, you might get some stuff you don't want to see. But if you're doing something positive, like building a house or doing some carpentry work, or if you're doing painting, anything that you can dream up, you can learn on YouTube. And it's free. Just think about you're paying for the service of having the internet supplied to your computer or your cell phone. Right now, we're getting it out in the cell phone. It's coming off the router from the internet supply. And the other thing that I do, whether you agree or not, it's your choice. If you're a public speaker and you enjoy public speaking, you set this phone up the way exactly what I'm doing now, and you put it on a little stand. There's a little phone stand you buy. It's like the same one used for your camera. And you set it up, and if you're a public speaker, you might want to talk about cars, or you might want to talk about people, things, hunting, fishing, anything that you do. And the other thing, the great thing about recording family history, you can look back and say, well, over the years, I've had an uncle here and an uncle there, and they did this, and they were farmers and that. And you can record family history. Now, once you do your talk, and you shut the little button on the button on the bottom to off position, that information is then saved in your image file. So that little video that you created there while you're talking, is saved in your image file. And then from that, if you go down to the bottom, you can choose where you put it. You can either put it on Facebook, or you can put it on YouTube, or whatever you like. So it's a great it's a great hobby. Now, when you make up the video, if you choose to put it on YouTube, you can leave it on there. And if you want to send it to somebody on an email, you can do it that way. Great information, a way of sharing information with family. So if you've got a bunch of old pictures and stuff like that, you can put them on a little book. You know, either put them on a book on a blurb book reading program, which is a download off the internet. You download blurb program, write yourself a book, use a lot of the pictures you have in file, or just do some verbal stuff. So when you get the talk done, if you get the video done, you then can you can actually go on your computer and you can burn it onto a CD or a DVD, and you can share that by giving it to people or sending it through the mail to them, which is slow, but giving it to them, you hand it to them if they want it. First off, got to find out whether they're interested in what you're doing or not. Putting it on YouTube is kind of neat, and Facebook is good because a lot of people go on there and look at the stuff, and it's free. Sometimes they'll come back and say, we enjoyed your talk, or sometimes they don't say nothing, but it doesn't matter. You're just kind of talking out into the internet, and if somebody enjoys it and they come back and tell you, yes, I enjoyed it, or they tell you it was useless, you got to be prepared for a rejection, and not everything we do is accepted by other people, but you got to remember one thing, everybody has a different story. So you're a good fisherman, talk about fishing. Make yourself a little video, put on YouTube, and tell us all about the things that you've had good success with. If you had good success catching steelhead, tell us what kind of fishing rods you're using, and line, what kind of hooks and bait and stuff like that. Or if you're hunting, if you had good success hunting elk, tell us how you do it. Not that we want to steal your ideas, but we might want to share them. Not the fact that we can send you $1,006 for sharing your stuff. But it's the idea that everybody has a story that they can go through in their life, and how nice is it to share. And the thing about sharing is that younger people will see the experience of the senior. Now, what a better thing to do than passing on some information to other people. Now, remembering that no matter what you do, whether you do a talk on something, or whether you build yourself a cabinet, or whether you paint your car, or whatever you do, it doesn't matter. But somebody will take a look at that, and that allows them to start where you ended off, so they can make it better. They can say, well, I really like to talk, but I don't like the red car. I want to do a blue one. So they take the information that you have put together in a talk, and they improve on it. And so you start the program, and they continue it, and they enjoy learning from what you've done, but they add to it and make the story better. So I would encourage you to save as much of the history you have. It doesn't matter whether you work for the railroad or whether you work for the fisheries branch or whoever you have. You must have some great pictures and even a good story. Tell us a good story about your life doing this and doing that. And I'm sure there's a lot of people out there who would appreciate knowing, and it'll motivate other people to do the same thing. So if you let's say you do a talk on the railroad about putting ties on or whatever you're doing, plowing snow or whatever, and you do a talk, somebody else will take a look at that and say, by God, I like that idea. I think I used to build some houses, or I used to build granaries on the farm, or a lot of things I used to do. So I want to make one up for myself. So they take your idea and improve on it and make the idea better by 2 people. Sometimes maybe more than 2, maybe 5 or 6 people. So have yourself a great day, and I hope you enjoy retirement as much as I do, and have yourself a great afternoon, and bye for now.